All right, so we've talked about connecting with spirit. We talked about the different type of guides that there can be, but I wanted to do a separate video for connecting with our star guides because, you know, the star being guides are their whole other realm. I feel like for me, when I first started working with spirit, I was connecting with the star being guides more so than anything, and it was through them that everything else opened up for me. So I kind of feel like they deserve their own, you know, video, but also there are a lot of videos on this channel that dive deeper into like the individual ones, like the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Lyrans, the Andromedans, the Sirians, the Vegans. I have I done the Avians? I don't know if have I still not done the Avians? I've done Orion, the Reptilian, maybe the Avian. I have to check. Anyways, what we're going to be talking about is they're just like, you know, other star, or they're just like other spirit guides, where they're higher dimensional entities. However, they're not associated with like the angelic realm or our ancestors or things like that. They're just higher dimensional beings that offer wisdom and guidance from a higher dimension, from a higher plane of existence. And so connecting with them can bring you different types of insight and guidance, and you may be more so drawn to connecting with them than other types of beings. For me, when I learned, like, coming into stuff, I did an angel communication class, and I had nothing against angels or anything like that. It just wasn't as resonant as the star energies were. So you may be somebody that's more drawn to work with star beings, and the ways that you're wanting to do that, or the reasons why you're wanting to do that, is to basically gain more wisdom. I feel like they offer insight or guidance that's otherworldly, obviously, but also it's beyond what we kind of receive. Like, I don't know if it's just my own way of connecting and seeing over the years, but I feel like some of the guidance that we can receive when it's coming through like the angelic realm or our ancestral realm doesn't seem as expansive or as supportive as some of the guidance that comes from the star beings. But that being said, some people may feel like it's too expansive or too like hard for them to conceive or understand. I've seen a lot of channelings, and I've done a lot of channelings over the years though, and I find that even the way that they relay information to people, they do eventually get that aha moment, but they're concepts that are very hard for people to understand unless they're broken down into like a very 3D way. Whereas our ancestors kind of communicate to us more in a frequency that's closer to 3D. We get it. We understand, like, this person's an asshole, don't talk to them. Whereas they're like, your frequency is too high to be entertaining the frequencies of these types of people, because they're going to lower your vibration and frequency. And also slap you in the face with the understanding that if you are attracting a lot of low vibrational people, you're going to want to look at your vibration, because there's a reason why they're coming in. There may be something off within your frequency. So with that being said, to connect with spirit, any spirit, but specifically star beings, you're going to want to raise your vibration and your frequency. And there's a lot of different ways for us to do that, but it's one of the main things that if your frequency is too low, you may find that you're no longer getting as much guidance, or you may no longer seeing as much synchronicity. When you start to raise your vibration and you start to vibe up on a higher level, you're going to notice a lot of synchronicity. You're going to see your life starting to be like, you're aware that this isn't like a normal situation, that like this is like the Matrix, and that you are the deciding factor in how that Matrix is playing out. So through meditation is a great way, and there's many different types of meditations, but there are meditations specific to raising your vibration. You can use sound healing and sound tools that can raise your vibration. Like sometimes when I'm feeling low, or I feel like something's off, I will play with my sound tools. Like I have the pyramid, I have the bowls, I've got my drums, and again, even with that, I feel like the sound tools that are more higher in pitch help us to raise our vibration, whereas like playing the drum can help to ground us, which you do want to be grounded in order to raise your vibration. As a starseed, you may be more apt to be like, I just want to go up and out of here. Like, I don't want to be grounded. So sometimes it may be nice for you to drum to help yourself to stay grounded, so that you can raise your vibration in a way that's not going to end up getting you hurt or being susceptible things that you don't want to be susceptible to. There's been times in the past where my vibration was really high and I was doing awesome sauce stuff, but I would end up getting hurt in the physical world because I was so ungrounded. I fell through a roof before and bruised everything under my arm. I've had other instances where I was just like so like because I just went through all the Moon key rites, or just did all the new paradigm activations, or just spent the whole weekend in the TP doing stuff. Anytime that I didn't allow myself to be grounded here, I would end up like harming myself physically because I'm still in a physical body. But I get why starseeds like that feeling, because it's like we want to escape here. You know, and that can also be tied to other things astrologically. Like I know I have my Lilith in the 12th house, so sometimes I'm escapist. Like I would like to escape this reality. I would like to be left alone from all people and all beings and just go off into another world. But that's not always beneficial to us. So you want to be thinking of that. You can also use hypnosis. Hypnosis is a very powerful way to retrain your mind and raise your vibration. And be wary of what vibration you're connecting with, like what hypnosis you're connecting with, or who the hypnotist is, or who the person channeling the meditation is. Because anybody out there and their brother can upload a video onto YouTube. You don't have to be special to do that. And I've seen people who put things out there that aren't always of a high vibration, and some people get fooled by it. So like that's why I was also struggling last time that I was talking about that person who's like bashing all these other creators. But you should be able, I mean, it shouldn't just immediately give someone an okay if they have 1,000, people watching them, but be wary, be aware of your energy, how your energy reacts. Do you feel like your energy raised up, or do you feel like tired after you watch something like that? Which with hypnotist and meditation, sometimes you do go into a deep place where you may feel tired or you fall asleep. But I feel like in those cases, for some of us, we're opening up to a different realm where we're actually receiving a lot more that we may not receive here consciously, because it goes into the subconscious. So our conscious mind is no longer in resistance to that information that may be coming through meditation or hypnotist. But again, use your best judgment. If you see a video that calls to you, there's probably a reason for it. So if you put judgment on stuff, I feel like that's lowering your vibration off the get-go. Because even like the best healers out there, they're going to start somewhere, right? So if they don't necessarily need to have 1,000 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers to be something that's beneficial to you. This is why we're going to want to raise our vibration and trust ourselves and connect to spirit more to be guided. And you'll get to the point where it's like you can just trust what's on your feed. You can just trust what's coming in, unless something around you is indicating to you that maybe you shouldn't be. Maybe there's like some force around you. And if that's the case, you're not going to want to feed into that reality, because you're going to amplify that reality. I did a reading for someone just last night who was asking like who may be sending something their way and what type of thing are they sending. Is it a hex? Is it a curse? Or is it this? And I was like, I don't even want to go into that for you, because if I validate that, which you already are aware of, you don't need to know who it is and what they're doing. Because if you start thinking, okay, it's this person and they're doing this thing, you're giving more power to that. Instead, be like, no, I'm going to take that energy. I'm going to transmute that energy. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, or what method you're using. I'm not going to feed into that. But if my subconscious hears from someone else that, oh, this person's doing this, and this other thing, it's more likely that it's going to end up being more detrimental to me in the long run, because I'm feeding into that awareness on the subconscious level. Unless I actively start doing things to revoke it and reverse it, which I gave that person a bunch of tips. I'm like, you could do this, you can do that. Light a candle, do some type of ritual, write things down, say like, because they already knew too. They already knew certain people who were doing things to them. I'm like, if you already have it in your mind, bind them from being able to do it to you without harming them. Just bind their energy from being able to impact yours anymore. And energy that does get through, but is transmuting to support you and help you and uplift you. But these are the fine nuances that I've learned through connecting with the star beings that I didn't necessarily hear from the angels. The angels are more so like, give your power away to us and we'll handle it for you. Whereas you are the creator of your reality. You can handle it yourself. I'm a little hot. Now, the next thing you can use are crystals. And there are certain crystals that I, as a starseed, really resonate with. Labradorite is one of my favorites. If you've ever seen anything of mine on my table here, you know that I've got massive amounts of labradorite. Labradorite for me, I feel like, is the perfect stone for transformation. They call it like the stone of magic and like the wisdom or the warlock energy. But it helps you like as an empath. It helps you to not take on other people's energies. It raises the vibration. Quartz is another one that's just an amplifier. So if it's like, you know, there's a certain stone that you really like working with, putting any type of quartz near that is going to amplify the energy or the impact, the effects that that stone has. Another stone that people can really work with and use and utilize is selenite. Now this is quartz. Selenite is one that is going to cleanse and clear and protect you. And it's also going to cleanse and clear any other stone. This is the only stone that doesn't really need to be like charged up because it's already charged, and it will cleanse other stones. So it's like you don't need to go doing a whole bunch of cleansing because this stone naturally cleanses the others. So I like to get like the big chunks of selenite. I have one over there, but it's like there's a lot of stuff on top of it at the moment. But you can get like a chunk of selenite to put your crystals on there, and it will cleanse them, and it automatically takes care of itself. Moldavite is another stone. Now there's been some like weird stuff with moldavite because some people had bad experiences. I feel like one person had a bad experience, put it out there, and it went like viral. So now everybody expects that moldavite's going to be like horrible for them. Only if it needs to be, okay? It's a high vibrational stone. It is a meteorite. It's similar to tektite. Now, tektite is like the black version of moldavite, which moldavite is green, but both of them are like extraterrestrial stones. They come from elsewhere, they landed here, and there isn't like a massive amounts of them. So moldavite can be very expensive. Moldavite can also be passed off as fake. Like the people have a lot of fakes out there. So you want to get a reputable person to get your moldavite from so that you don't get ripped off and not go into it fear-mongering. Because if you go into it fear-mongering, you're most likely going to create negative outcomes. People are like, oh, it shakes up everything. It will change everything that's not good in your life. But if everything that's not good in your life is a result of the fact of a lower vibration and you start bringing in high vibrational stones, then yeah, they might shake some shit up, but in the end, it would most likely be good for you. So labradorite, moldavite, selenite, quartz, those are some of like the big ones. You can also look into what feels right for you. Another reason why I think I like moldavite so much, labradorite so much, is because it's like a star itself. It's beautiful. It has a lot of cool flash, but you can also get a raw piece of labradorite that doesn't necessarily have all of those flashes in it, but I don't know, since day one, since ever figuring out anything about crystals, labradorite has been my number one go-to. And I've been gifted huge pieces of it. Like I have not really purchased any of it. It just keeps coming to me and coming to me. So that lets me know that I need it. Like the big point that I have in the center of the table, that was a gift. This one was a gift. All of them were gifted to me. I bought small ones. Anything that was like under $50, I bought myself. But if you're meant to have a stone, you might find that happens too, where it comes into your reality just naturally. You may even find it outside. I have found different stones outside that you would be surprised, like, how is this outside? Like there was a quartz point in my mom's yard in Kingston, Massachusetts, where it's like unlikely to be finding those. But that is a great way to help you to raise your vibration and to connect with your star beings through the stones that feel resonant to do so. I like to use moldavite oil as well, which I don't know where you can get this anymore. This was a gift as well. Somebody gave me like 3 bottles of these years ago. I have a very tiny little bit downstairs in the kitchen, and I have this amount left, and I very rarely, sparingly use it, but it has a piece of moldavite in it. And I think they got it on Amazon, but I don't know if you can get it anymore, but it does help. So another tool are high vibrational oils, like essential oils, and then creating sacred space. So when I create sacred space, I use different things. I'm also an advanced aromatherapist, so I create specific things like this. I created in the Lion's Gate a couple years ago. It's amber patchouli with quartz, and it was blessed manifesting water that I took my moldavite bowl outside, and I filled that bowl up with water, and I put a bunch of crystals inside of it. Like I had moonstone and labradorite and other stones inside the water, and I left it out during the Lion's Gate and charged that water up, and then I created this from that. So like I basically created this to like bless your stuff with. Now you can do that too through your intuition, but that is how like my connection to them has helped guide me into also raising my vibration further and helping others to raise their vibration, because I get guided to do weird things like that. Like, put all these crystals in this big fucking moldavite bowl, put it outside and charge it all up, and then make some manifesting water, put some quartz in there, put this in there. But there are different types of essential oils that you can use. Blue tansy is one that's been coming up for me a lot. I actually have. It's good for like connecting to the astral realm, you know, getting outside with your third eye. There's a lot of them, like frankincense, patchouli, and myrrh. They've been talked about in the Bible. For me, those are all good for protection and abundance. Lavender is like a staple for people. It's very calming and soothing. So if you know you're going into meditation, lavender can help you to get there. Rose, I always put rose with things to do with love, but there's other ones like jasmine and vanilla that can help with love. And love is a high vibrational thing. If you look at the charts, you know, love and acceptance and gratitude are very high up, but then like fear and other things like that down low are very low. So we want to be mindful of what type of frequencies we're using, and everything is frequency. Essential oils are frequency, crystals are frequency, all of your tools hold frequency. So while creating sacred space, another frequency holder are candles, right? You can use candles in opening your sacred space, but every candle color holds its own frequency. So if you're trying to purify space, you might want to use white candles. If you're trying to connect with wisdom, you might want to use purple. If you're trying to attract abundance, you might want to use green. And these again are things that I've learned through connecting to spirit and through studies and through exploring and intuition, and my intuition grew stronger, my clear knowing grew stronger through trust and through connecting to these beings. Like 11 years ago, I wouldn't have ever been like, oh yeah, a white candle will purify and a green candle would bring abundance, but it just naturally occurred over time. You know, like my own intuitive instincts on those things I put out there, and then I would find other people that would back it up. Same thing when I started connecting with the quartz crystals, right? I had a whole weird, crazy awakening with quartz crystals, and I kept getting like these like insights or these sensations, these feelings, these downloads about them. And then I would look up what I felt connected to it, because like every crystal has all these different markings on them. Every crystal has a different shape when it comes to quartz. And every time I'd have this intuitive insight about it, I'd end up like Googling it, and I'd find someone to back up what I had just received. And I went through like a few weeks of that, gathered tons of information. And since then, my connection to quartz has been amplified. And I know there's a lot of information about them. But again, it's all frequency, it's all energy. And your gut, your instinct, your inner knowing will know. I feel like the biggest detriment to people on the planet is not allowing themselves to connect to this wisdom, not trusting themselves, because when you're a child, it's like it's all there, but through conditioning, through school, through your parents, through the people around you, you start to turn it off. You start to second guess yourself, you know, oh, you're just making it up. It's just imagination. It's just silly talk. But I've learned through reopening that pathway back up that it's not. That I get confirmation so often. Like the other night I did the video about psychic attack and being cold, and I was cold when I did it. Last night I got a text from a dude that I know. Today I messaged them back and they called me and I was like, what's up? And they're like, it's so weird because there's a girl that they know that it's not a nice person, and she's a drug addict, she's lost her kids, like she's not a good person. I know her from when I was a heroin addict. And that was years and years and years ago, and she was really not a good person then. Like, he got mixed up with her, and she really caused a lot of problems in her life. He has not talked to her in at least 6 months. But right before she texted him, during Mercury retrograde, he started getting cold to the point that he was shivering, his teeth were chattering, he was under the blankets, and then he sees that she calls, she hangs up and texts him, and then it got worse. He got even more cold. And for some reason, he felt guided to let me know about that today. And I know he is somewhat open to spirit. Like he understands, like his daughter has like past life memories. Like he believes in the reincarnation, that she's like a grandparent that's passed over. But he's not like big into like, oh, yeah, let me get some Palo Santo out and do some like spiritual protection and all of that type of stuff. I just feel like he was guided to connect, could tell me about this today so that I could confirm to him, be like, just stay away from her. Like I've told him 1,000 freaking times in the past. But it was almost like I got the confirmation, he got the confirmation that like, you're not crazy for feeling that way. I'm not crazy for telling people that the other night. And those are indications of things. But that's what I mean. Like when you raise your vibration and you trust what you are receiving and you speak on what you're receiving, you will get weird confirmations like that. Like I know he's not watching my Divine Essentials YouTube channel. Like he's got a wife and kids. Like he's got his own life. Like he's highly unlikely watching Psychic Attack 22 Signs Up, you know? But yes, you will get indications like that. Now, another way to raise your vibration is to start opening sacred space and have rituals for yourself every day. Like when I'm feeling off, I will play with my Palo Santo, or I will use my Florida water. I will have things like this, or my oils. I use something that is of a higher vibration. You can use incense, you can do candles, whatever you feel guided to. And like these are cinnamon incense. So when you burn cinnamon incense, that's good for abundance, right? But you can also intend and attract in the frequency that you want to attend and have come in. You can also open the vortex. Every time I open the vortex, I ground it down to the heart of Mother Earth and up into the source of all that there is, where all wisdom is known, where all frequencies are available. And when I bring that pillar down through the center, I ask for whatever frequency or energy that I feel guided to or need or want. So like if I don't have citrine, but I feel like I need citrine to help somebody in a healing session, I ask for the frequency of citrine. Or if I need to protect my space, but I don't have any like sage or Palo Santo, I will ask for that to come in. I also always ask for protection anyways, no matter what. But the vortex is one of the main ways that I really amplified my connection to the star beings and getting them to come through and talk to me. That's how I did my trance channeling. That's how I do my automatic writing. That's how I do all my guided meditations. I open the vortex, I bring the information down, but I also will sometimes, instead of anchoring that vortex up into the source, I will anchor it to a specific place. Like I'll go to the Pleiades to connect to the Pleiadian consciousness, or the Sirius to connect to the Sirian consciousness, or wherever I feel guided to go, depending on what I'm feeling guided to do and depending on what the time of the year is. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm being guided to go to the Lyran energy for the Lion's Gate and to bring in that infinite abundance and all of the energy that is associated with that strength and that confidence, that regal royal power, that ancient Egyptian type of energy. And I know it inside of my mind what that equates to for me. So that's why it's important for you to continue to do this, so that you know in your mind when you're setting these intentions what it's connecting to. You know, like you want to grow that spiritual dictionary in your mind of what all of these frequencies represent and what they mean to you and why you might be calling on them or connecting with them. But through doing these practices of opening sacred space, working with crystals, intentionally calling on certain places, it will expand your awareness of what's associated with it or what impressions you get from it. And sometimes it's going to be subtle, but the more that you trust it, the more you'll get confirmed on it, the easier it'll be for you to be like, okay, this is legit. Listening and receiving, you know, just listening and trusting throughout the day, whatever you're doing. Maybe it's going to be numbers, maybe it's going to be animals. Like today when I left, I saw a whole bunch of crows. I saw like 15 crows. Now I could go look that up and see something associated with it that's negative, or I could go look something up and see something that's associated with it positively. But beyond just the 15 crows that I was looking at, I was listening to a reading specific for Taurus from a reader that I trust. And during it, I was getting so many confirmations about things going on in my life and what I know, you know, under the guise, like under the surface is happening with myself and others in my life. So I saw those crows as something positive, and I see the 15 as change and transformation. And the 5 is also associated with money when it comes to the crows. So those are things that I've learned over time. Those are things that I've taken in. You may see crows and have no idea where to begin with seeing crows. But again, pay attention to what you were just thinking about or what you were just listening to. Look it up, but don't just take the first thing at face value. Look up the multiple meanings and think about, does it make sense for what's happening in your life? Think about, does it make sense for how you were feeling in that moment? Like, did seeing the crows bring in a sense of, oh no, or did it bring in a sense of, oh good? You know what I mean? And again, you are the creator of your reality. So if you feel, oh no, you may enhance, oh no, and take things that are meant to be positive and transform them into negative. That's again the reason why I told that girl, like, I don't want to give you like, oh, this one's hexing you and this one's cursing you and this one's voodooing you and this one's this one you. Because if she's not already thinking those things and I introduce those things to her, now she's adding that on top of feeling like she's already being attacked and under psychic, you know, things and not good stuff. So we don't want to keep introducing negative stuff into our reality and expect positive outcomes. Another way is through automatic writing or journaling, basically through stream of consciousness, just letting whatever wants to come through, come through. When I automatic write, a lot of times I will just, like in the past, if I'm doing an automatic writing for a reading, I will ask like the emissaries of light to assist me and help me. Sometimes it's more so for the fact of like star origins, like what is this person's star origins, and I get like their whole background, everything about them, where they've been and who they are and what they're doing. But other times I get it more so for like the collective, where it's like this is a message for all divine feminine energy or all divine masculine energy. Sometimes I'm guided to write like a poem that's all rhymey, and I may use that in an activation, or I may be guided to share it as like this is how we cancel soul contracts, or here I get a bunch of affirmations or a bunch of prayers that are going to help us. But again, that is expanded over time, but just practicing through automatic writing without judgment, whatever comes through, is a great way to connect with the star beings through your intention to do so. So again, just like with anything, if you're going to be doing automatic writing, you're going to want to open your sacred space. You're going to want to be intentional with what you're doing, and then just have non-judgment on what's coming through you. The first time you do automatic writing, you may not get a whole bunch of stuff. It may just be a few words or a few numbers. It may just be like some symbols. That's another thing. Like you may start receiving weird downloads or little patterns or symbols and things that are meant for you to share with the collective. Like the other day I saw an Arcturian one that someone drew, and they started it years ago and they were guided to finish it the other day. And they shared it into a public group that I'm in. And as soon as I saw it, if I let myself just kind of look at it for a few moments, I saw it start to change and like move. And I was like, oh my God. So I ended up sharing it in the Patreon for the Patreon members, and all of the people in there were liking it. And a couple of people commented on how they definitely felt something, they received something from it. And it isn't a conscious thing. Like I received XYZ, and even the creator of it said, you know, it's not like a conscious thing. Like I can't give you exactly what this means or what it does. It's on an energetic level. It's like on the quantum level. It's just there. It's just something. And when I looked at it, not only did I see it moving and feel downloads from it, but it reminded me of ones that I've done in the past, paintings that I've done with the Pleiadians, Arcturian energies that I've channeled through. Time that I was on the phone and I ended up receiving like these little, like, I don't even know, it was like alien language, and I wasn't paying attention. I was on the phone, but when I looked down, it was like I drew a little alien language. And those are the types of things that can happen. So again, it's like sometimes you don't even have to be setting the intention to start receiving these things or have these things come through to you, or to connect with them in the 3D, like it's on your feed, or it's in a group that you're in, or you're out and about and you just happen to start seeing stuff around you that is repetitive or it feels significant. 1111, pay attention, because all of those things are signs and indications that you are connecting with spirit. It's you paying attention to it. It's you giving it like that aha, like I see you, and acknowledging it and trusting it. That's going to help it to grow. But again, this is something that you're going to have to build your relationship with. It's not going to happen overnight, where it's like you go from like not doing anything to what like I do is in 20 minutes I can write like 5 pages of messages from the Pleiadian emissaries of light, or whoever it is that I'm connecting with. Sometimes it's even multiple star beings that will come through. When I used to do automatic writing at like a fair, people would sit down with me for like a 20-minute reading. And in that 20-minute reading, if they chose automatic writing, it would start off with like, we are the emissaries of light, and they might have the Lyran consciousness come through for a few messages, and then they'd have like the Arcturian consciousness come through for a few messages. And again, it was just me trusting and receiving and writing. But I've never had a person read, like, because I would read it to them afterwards, because sometimes it's hard to read because I do it really quickly. I've never had a person be like, that makes absolutely no sense. I don't know what you're talking about. It was always mind-blowing for them. It was always confirming for them. And those experiences in themselves, where I'm getting that confirmation from people, also help me to strengthen that relationship and to trust that connection and be like, okay, like, yeah, I'm not insane. Like this information that's coming through makes sense to them. I was guided to give it to them for a reason. And again, when I do with the cards, even down to creating the cards, like when I made the starseed oracle, or any tarot that I make, there's a reason, there's a frequency, there's an energy that comes through, and people resonate with it. That's why they purchase them, or that's why they like the readings. That's why they stick around. That's why they want to receive further information, because I'm building that connection and I'm trusting that connection and I'm taking action on that. And I'm not just letting it like sit there idly or forget about it into the background. It's something you want to regularly practice. And the more that you do, the higher your vibration will rise and the better at it you'll get. You'll go from being like, oh, I got 1111 to I got 5 pages of these incredible messages to share with the collective. And it may feel like you're making it up in the moment, but I trust, like if you trust and allow it to come through you without judgment, you'll see that you're not making it up, especially when it's not for you. Sometimes it's hard for us to do automatic writing for ourselves. Like I've never sat down and done like my own starseed origin, like full letter like I do for others. But when I do it for others, I'm not judging that. I'm just doing it, and people resonate with it. You know what I mean? And it gets easier each time, and it strengthens each time. So the biggest challenge that you're going to have with all of this is doubt. You know, if you're doubting yourself, you're blocking yourself. Keeping your vibration high is another thing, but it's not that difficult to do. Like stay away from people that bring you down. Stay away from substances that bring you down. Stay away from the doubts. Stay away from, you know, this food or the lack of sleep or whatever it is that's causing you to lower your vibration, and stay grounded, like I said, because that will help to ground that energy here. So many star seeds want to leave. They don't want to be here. They're miserable here, and I fucking get it, but you're here for a reason. And if you can anchor that frequency here, that is your mission, your purpose is to raise the vibration here, to make home here, to bring that higher vibration here so that this place isn't so miserable, so that it's not so difficult to be here. And if we all can do this together, because we're spread across the planet, it can help the planet as a whole. But I know a lot of us are in this place of like, it feels like it doesn't even matter. Like, what the hell? Like, so many bad things are going on. Things seem like they're getting worse. But sometimes things need to appear like they're getting worse for them to actually get better. Like, it's not necessarily getting worse. It's just, it's becoming more aware. We're seeing it. We're recognizing it. More and more people are becoming conscious of it. So they're bringing more awareness to the things that are not right. And the more that we are aware of it, and the more we bring consciousness to that, the more we are capable of changing it and shifting others into a better state of like, let's not continue on this path of self-destruction. Let's not continue on a path where the planet is just going to be destroyed and all of the beings on it. You know, like we know we can leave here and go home and that's going to be fine and dandy. Like we're not afraid of death because we know death is an ascension out of here. But we don't want everybody here to have to suffer indefinitely because we didn't fulfill our mission. So that is part of our mission, is to stay grounded, to ground those energies here, because grounded energy is stronger energy, and it will amplify your ability to do it if you are grounded. If you're all willy-nilly and you get hurt, you do stupid shit, or you get confused, you're not, that's when you go into like the spiritual psychosis places, or you get too out of this world. People won't understand you, or you won't be able to impact others as greatly as you can if you are grounded and stable and good. Try your best to just keep a good intention about yourself. Stay grounded. Know that it's going to take exercise, it's going to take practice, just like anything, to get better and better. But if you can let go of the judgments and the doubts, it will get easier and easier every day. And let me know what ways that you connect with spirit. What types of crystals do you use? What types of frequencies and things do you like? What type of essential oils do you use? And that was something else I wanted to let people know. The other day I made today I made special blends for someone that I can't put onto my Etsy shop because of the way that this world is. Like if I want to put my certain blends out there that I know help with certain things, I'm not allowed to. I can put a spray on there that's like, hey, connect to the Pleiadians, or hey, connect to the Galactic Councils, or hey, like Twin Flame Union. I can put those blends out there, no problem. The FDA has no problem with that. All that stuff's totally fine. But if I want to help people with like depression or anxiety or weight loss, I can't market it in that way. I can't call it that because it's like medical support. So I have blends that help that and do that and are specific for that, but I can't market in that way. So I don't even bother putting it up there, because it's like, what am I going to call it and what am I going to say within the description of it so that people know that this is, because otherwise it's just me saying like, this is just a spray of these ingredients. But all the ingredients in essential oils are what they are using their synthetic chemicals from. Essential oils are natural chemicals. And they naturally help with weight loss, with depression, with anxiety, with sleep. It naturally does that. but they can't capitalize on that, but they can capitalize on the synthetic shit that they create. So they have control over all of that. But I told people, or I told this woman, if she wanted to order any of the sprays that are in my Etsy shop, they're all priced at the same price, and just let me know which one she wanted, I would make them. So today I made her the Depression Destroyer, the Anxiety Away, and the Way Less. And I also have one for sleeping soundly. So if those sound like anything you want, you can order any of the sprays on my shop, and in the notes section, tell me, I want the depression one, or I want the anxiety one, or I want the weight one, and I will send it to you in the place of like the Syrian Soul Cleanse, or the Twin Flame Union, or the Palo Santo Protection. And hopefully you can see how insane that is just in the way that it is. But that is some of the stuff we're here to change, okay? Again, I just wanted to thank my new Patreon members and those of you who have not yet joined me on Patreon. Patreon is very simple. You can download the app into your phone. I have mine right here. Also, you can receive the emails every time I upload to Patreon. Okay, so right now there's 32 posts in here, and there's several different collections. Recently, I added the Freaky Friday for 18 plus readings because I originally set this Patreon up on years ago when I was still doing the Twin Flame readings and like the 18 plus readings, and I just made all those 18 plus decks. Then I completely forgot about it, let it go, and then I ended up running into trouble with using the decks. So I was like, oh my god. Like when I set this up, they reminded me that I was set up as an 18 plus creator, and I was like, oh, that means I can use my decks again. So Freaky Friday will be added from now on. I did the first one tonight. There will be at least one every month. And the Mystic Monthly Check-In, that again is that first tier for $1.11. Every month you'll get a Mystic Monthly Check-In. And this month there was more than one reading that I did. I ended up doing some different stuff that's been available to them throughout the month. But the Mystic Monthly, that's the $1.11. It's like a 20-minute reading about the month ahead. If you do the $5.55 tier, you get the Freaky Friday, you get the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine, Twin Flame updates, which there's 7 different posts in there right now. You get the Wisdom Wednesdays. You'll also get the Starseed Souls, any other posts and things that I post into there. Then the next one up, the 11/11, that's when you get the activations and rituals, and I have one set for on the 20th of this month for prosperity and abundance and protection of all the members that are in that Patreon in those tiers. And then the $22 one is when you start getting the live Q&A streams with me. That's going to be 2 hours a month at this point, until there's like so many members in there that not everybody's getting their voice heard. And it's not like the lives that I do on here. This is a live. If you choose, you can turn your camera and your microphone on, or you can use the chat box. But basically, it gives you an opportunity to actually speak with me and connect with others in the community. We're all going to be on camera together if you choose to have your camera on, or microphone, or just the chat box, however you feel. But I know some people have wanted that back, so that is available at the $22. And then the $55, you get all of those other things, plus a private reading from me every month. I've already sent one off to a person, so every 15th of the month she'll be getting a 20-minute reading. I posted a bunch of different ways that you can ask questions. In here I put the the 101, this is a $111 tier. This is when you start getting the tarot teachings and things. As you can see, there's a lot in here, but these questions here I also made available to the people in the $55 tier so that they would know things to ask, whether they want love, career, personal growth, spiritual, decision making, health and well-being, manifestation, clarity and insight. There's a lot of things that can help them, but that is also part of that next level, which is $111. We're going to be teaching a lot of different things. Right now we're teaching tarot and oracle, but from then on, it will be whatever the members of that tier want to learn next. Do they want the new paradigm? Do they want Moon Key? Do they want star rights? Whatever it is. And I'll be adding other things in there as we go too. At the moment, I'm waiting for someone to join that tier before I really start pumping it up with stuff. But as you can see, we've only been launched since the 8th, and I've already been putting a lot of stuff in here, and there'll be new video teachings every other Sunday for this tier, regardless if there's someone in there or not. And then the top tier for $222, you get everything I've already talked about, plus the one-on-one coaching with me every single month. That's 60 minutes. We can be face-to-face, or we can be on the phone just through the audio, or however you feel comfortable doing it, and it can be guidance for your starseed path, it can be guidance for your twin flame path, it could be guidance for your spiritual business. Basically all of the things that I've taught. If you've been around for a while or if you're just coming in, you can even just sign up for 1 month to get that one coaching session, that one private reading, that one time with the group coach, and all the readings for the month and everything that's priorly been posted. Those top tiers, the 55, the 111, 22, 222, I don't mind if someone only joins those for 1 month at a time to benefit from what's in there, because that's when you start getting the private readings and things. I'm going to be like eliminating those. My website's going to be going away. It's not going to be like available in everywhere. So it's going to be like first come, first serve. If there's a spot on that tier open, people can join it. If they decide that they don't need a private reading the next month, but they still want to get activations, they can always drop down to a different tier or just leave the tiers altogether. But those top ones, I don't really mind people coming and going within. It's the, you know, the bottom. I don't even really mind with any of them, honestly. If you don't come in, you don't like it, you don't like it. I just don't want to be like taken advantage of. That's why I'm not jam-packing the $111 tier with every single teaching that I have right now, because people can come in, swoop it all out for the price of one, basically, because $111 to get the Mooney key rights from me on my Etsy shop, you know. If I have someone come in for 1 month, they're going to get all the tarot teachings, all this things and all that things. So we're going to spread those ones out. But basically, you want to join it, you can join it. If you don't have to. There's a lot of stuff in here, as you can see. And I've been updating every single day. Most of the readings, like this one was 15 minutes and 15 seconds. Some of them are 12 minutes. Some of them are 20 minutes. I did one the other day that was, it was different. I'll be adding more to that. It was for this self-acceptance. It was basically a prompt out of my 88-page journal that is available on my Etsy shop if you want just the journal. This can help you to get good at your tarot deck and also help yourself. It's all about self-acceptance, and there's different prompts, like what are the 5 things you don't like about yourself, and how is the tarot going to help us to more so come into a place of acceptance. And then the reading that went around along with it, as you can see, went on for 20 minutes.
Really cool about you was...
So there's a lot of stuff in here. There's automatic writings. Those are things that weren't even part of what was supposed to be in here. It's just extra stuff that I posted in here. I've been sharing little posts and things that I've been seeing that I feel guided to share with the community. And every time I've been guided to share something with the community, just like off a whim, I end up getting comments on it from people being like, wow, I felt this, like, this makes so much sense. Thank you so much. This helps me so much. So yeah, if you want to be a part of it, there's all different options for you to be a part of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In Renee, namaste.